You're listening to The Adam Ritz Show.
Adam Ritz is a media personality and keynote speaker, interviewing amazing people from coast to coast. Follow him on Twitter @Adam Ritz, or listen to him now on The Adam Ritz Show.
I'm Adam Ritz, and we're broadcasting live at Vanderbilt University in front of a live studio audience.
Hi, I'm Sparky Reardon. I'm the Dean of Students at the University of Mississippi. I've been here for 34 years, and over the years we've had lots of speakers speak at the university. And I will say that Adam Ritz has an impact on students like nobody that I've ever seen. His message is pertinent today. It was pertinent 20 years ago. It'll be pertinent 20 years from now. The students who came away were impressed and impacted, and I would recommend anybody who is looking for a speaker about students making good decisions to invite Adam Ritz to your campus.
What we're going to do with this topic of alcohol awareness is I host a show, radio show, Adam Ritz Show. It's online if you want to listen to AdamRitzShow.com. I've worked in radio and television for about the last 20 years since I graduated with a communications degree and econ majors. Do you suck at math? Yes, that's why you're a con major, right? Me too. Any business majors, engineering, math, any pre-med? If it gets to biology, chemistry, if these things get too hard for you, come on over to communications. It's so easy, isn't it? It's like they're passing out diplomas, I swear to God. You haven't been to class in 2 years, have you? I know. Because I was a con major.
Our team just heard Adam Ritz's presentation and just thought it was outstanding. We've had a lot of presentations over the years, and my 13 years as part of our NFL life skills seminars, and I thought this was the best one yet.
What I'm going to do with alcohol awareness, because it's kind of a tough topic to try to tackle with student athletes and college students, because it's boring, it's predictable, it's nothing you want to hear. Nobody wants to be preached at. Don't drink, you'll get in trouble. Your blood alcohol level, you know, all this stuff is just mind-numbing. So what I'm going to try to do from a media perspective is cover some news stories that I've seen come across the news wire, social media, broadcast media, of some college students and student athletes that have made some mistakes. Alcohol was involved, and now there's consequences.
My name is Kim Godwin. I'm the Director of Leadership Education for the Chi Phi fraternity, and I was able to see Adam's presentation, and I think that it was a wonderful presentation. In my experience working with both men's and women's organizations, I think that his message really resonates with today's college student.
Round of applause. Okay, in case your fans here, what's your name? Hunter. Hunter, campus?
Fort Smith.
Fort Smith, and your major?
Organizational leadership.
Organizational leadership?
It's real.
Is it real?
That's what I tell my dad.
And one of the things I see when I cover the news wires are people, just completely normal people that make one bad choice. Alcohol is usually involved in it. It just completely destroys their future. It ruins their life. It ruins their relationships with their family or with their spouse, future spouse, girlfriend, coaches, fraternities. It's just amazing how one night, one mistake, one night of drinking can just change your life forever. And nobody really thinks it's going to happen to them. So nobody really thinks about it until it's too late. And excuse me, once the line is crossed and once the decision is made, and once things go bad, and they go bad fast, then it's too late. There's no time machine, there's no rewind, you can't go backwards. So we're going to bring up some of these stories. I brought some with me to talk about today. Some are very serious, almost a bummer, very tragic. Some are kind of head scratchers, like, are you serious? Could that possibly happen? The one thing all of these stories have in common is that nobody thought it was going to happen to them.
I'm Bill Dreyer, and I just got through seeing Adam's presentation, which I consider the most compelling thing that I have ever seen. I'm retired as the Senior Executive Vice President for AT&T. I'm involved in a lot of things, and over a 39-year career with what is now AT&T, I have never seen anything that approaches the effectiveness of this presentation.
We're going to try to answer this question before the evening is over. Are you invincible? And that's the key word, really, invincibility.
And it's nothing to be ashamed of. We all have it. It's a certain sense of arrogance and conceit. It's what we need to get out of bed in the morning and leave our apartment. If you weren't a little invincible, we wouldn't even leave the house. So how can you guard against your invincibility getting you in trouble? Just stop and think. Look for red flags. What's the worst that can happen? Even when you cross the street, when you're sober, you're going to class, you've got your earbuds in, you could get hit by a car, drunk driver coming the other way. And that is one of the things I see on college campuses the most is pedestrians hit by a drunk driver. You've got pedestrians, college students walking to class, you've got drunks, it's a college campus, you've got cars everywhere. So even when you're sober making the right decisions walking to class, you can get yourself in trouble. So watch out wherever you go, be proactive, don't think you're safe, always, especially at 2 o'clock in the morning after a few cocktails.
Nobody wakes up in the morning. How many of you guys woke up this morning and say, hey, I'm going to die. Maybe tonight I die. Maybe tonight I'm going to die. One of you? You're so strung out on heroin right now, I can tell. You probably will die tonight. It's just not, we're not programmed to think that way. Hey, tonight I'm going to die. Hey, tonight I'm going to make a bad decision. Hey, tonight I might get a felony and I'm going to just ruin, I don't care what my grades are in the Cox School of Management or Business. That $200,000 a year job you're going to have by age 30 is not going to exist if you get a felony on your record. And that might happen tonight when you're out dabbling in some high-risk behavior at 2 o'clock in the morning. Nobody ruins their future at 2 o'clock in the afternoon after lunch. It's always at 2 o'clock in the morning after a couple of drinks.
It happens to other people. Not going to happen to me. How many people here tonight are going to die? I mean, not eventually, tonight. I know you're going to die. I was like, wow, this group parties hard. What kind of mixer's going on after the show?
All right, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Merce Brook. I'm an associate professor here at the Virginia Military Institute, and I just saw Adam Ritz's presentation, and it is honestly one of the greatest presentations I've ever seen. Very powerful, something that I think all college-age kids should see.
And invincibility can be dangerous. If you think nothing's bad is ever going to happen to you, that's when you're not recognizing the red flags when they're popping up saying, hey, some of this behavior is very high risk. You could be in trouble. You could get your fraternity in trouble. You could get all your friends in trouble. So invincibility is a topic and a key word here that we're going to look at and try to answer this question, are you invincible? Some of the stories I've covered this week, all these stories have happened just in the last 4 or 5 days. The quarterback at Syracuse, Terrell Hunt, arrested for larceny. He shoplifted $44 worth of perfume at Hollister.
So we're going to try to answer this question. Put yourself in these people's shoes. Look for the red flags. Could this be you tonight? Could it be you next week? Are you lucky it wasn't you last week at a party? This just happened Friday in Terre Haute, Indiana. From Indiana State University, a man was sentenced in a drunk driving death of Jacob Himes. Does that name ring a bell?
Henry Johnson, a college basketball player, arrested for murder.
Utah, this is nuts. University of Utah professor Grant Smith remains in jail accused of viewing child pornography while on an airplane.
This happened a few days ago. Auburn University, the Dean of Agriculture, Bill Batchelor, gets a DUI. Is that going to affect his career? Was he on probation anyway from another problem from last year?
Carly Schultes, soccer player, University of Georgia. She was arrested at the Bulldog Cafe for putting hash browns in her pants and then not paying for them. $1.06. $1.06. 106 cents worth of hash browns. She shoved in her pants.
A juror was jailed after sending a friend request to the defendant. Police are investigating right now Brandon Landau's death at Illinois Wesleyan fraternity party. He was 19 years old, drank a whole bottle of vodka, alcohol poisoning, and now he's dead. And with this case, why are they investigating? Well, they need to find out who bought the alcohol. When somebody dies at the hands of alcohol, whether you pass out and choke on your vomit, or you get alcohol poisoning, or if you're 19, you drink a bottle of vodka and you drive your car and kill yourself in a car, the person that bought the bottle goes to jail. That's just how it works. So for everybody in the room that's of age, you're 21, 22, if you're thinking about buying a bottle of vodka or whiskey for your friend on the team that's 19 or 18, you got to think, what's the worst that can happen? What are the red flags? Are they going to drink the whole bottle? Are they going to pass out and choke on their vomit? Are they going to get alcohol poisoning and die? Once they trace the alcohol back to you, manslaughter charges, and usually 6 or 7 years in prison. And your future will be completely different. Now that's a really selfish thing to say because somebody's dead. This young man's dead. the person that bought the alcohol is going to go to jail. Their future's ruined. Yeah, but there's a victim here. Somebody's dead. So when we talk about some of these stories, we're going to talk about it from a selfish point of view. What do we need to do to make sure we keep our status at this university, on the team? We don't want to ruin our future. We want to graduate, get the job, the career we want, get the life we want. If you make a mistake, you might jeopardize all of that. And that's a selfish way to look at it, when you could also kill somebody, or hurt somebody, or victimize somebody that doesn't have a decision, didn't have a say-so. They were just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I also have the experience of being someone who worked for a rape recovery and prevention center in my previous careers, and I really feel that this program touched on the topic and was able to segue into conversations that need to be discussed without being overly emotional, and that's really something that I think can help us be able to have these conversations in the future.
3rd degree assault and battery. What is that, a bar fight? I don't even know what that means. But was he drunk? I don't even know. I can assume it was maybe at 2 o'clock in the morning after a few cocktails. You get into an argument, it's tough, I know. I've been in some arguments, and it's tough to walk away. But you gotta stop and think, in a split second, if I land this punch and get charged with assault and battery and get a mugshot, if you Google his name right now, the first thing you see is not pictures of him playing basketball. The first thing you see is his mugshot. I don't know the story. He could be totally innocent. Somebody else started the fight. But guess what? He engaged. He engaged and has been charged. Now this is the real Chris Grendigo. Great looking kid, nice smile. He might have had a great excuse. Maybe his teammate was in trouble and he was just trying to help out, self-defense, I don't know. But if the dust settles and there's no great excuse and that charge sticks, this is not how strangers that don't know him will see him. This is how the strangers will look at him. The director of the Human Resource Department, the admissions office at a grad school that he wants to go to. And this is an easy decision for some people to say, hey, look, we don't want this guy in our group. We need people that make better decisions.
This is don't do drugs speech. You can drink, you can be drunk right now, I don't care. But drugs, man, I'm telling you what, and that's the toughest part, because you're in really the drug experimentation capital of the world. On a college campus, there's drugs within 200 feet. There's drugs. Somebody's got drugs right now in this room. Somebody's got dope in their pocket. I know it. We brought in an airport dog right now. Somebody turned bright red. Anyway, when you're Scott Weiland, you can eat heroin for breakfast, and guess what? You might get arrested, and then you'll sell more records. When you're a normal person, when you're a student athlete, your body is a machine. You try some drugs, and guess what? You can drop dead. Your system can't handle this stuff with the real hard stuff like heroin and cocaine and LSD and crystal meth, and now prescription painkillers. That's the big one.
Again, back with the prescription painkillers. This happened on Friday. Dr. Lisa Send was charged with murder. She prescribed painkillers to 3 students. One went to Arizona State. This is in the Los Angeles area. And they popped the pills and they all died. She's a doctor. Doctors don't even know what they're doing with this stuff. So how can you trust some sophomore with a communications major walking into an apartment with a bag of pills? If a doctor doesn't know how to do it, if a doctor's going to prescribe pills to Michael Jackson and get charged and implicated with his death, wait till this Whitney Houston thing shakes out. Doctors don't even know what they're doing. So prescription painkillers are bad news. Don't think this is, hey, it's not heroin. It's worse, because you don't know how bad it is or what it can do to your body until it's too late.
I honestly thought that the speaker tonight, Adam Ritz, was really wonderful. Actually, he kind of caught all of us off guard. I knew a little bit about what he was going to talk about, but at the very end really caught all of us. And from my experience here at Cal Poly, that's probably been one of the most, not entertaining, but most interesting speakers we've had. And I think it got all of us thinking a little bit more about our future and what we need to do.
I'm Monique Bernuti, Associate Athletics Director at Northern Illinois University. We just had Adam Ritz present to our student athletes right before our spring break. And he was phenomenal. He was funny, he engaged them, he reeled them in, and then he dealt with a very serious situation and a very serious topic in a way that I know they walked out of here and they won't forget it, and hopefully they'll make better decisions as a result of it.
So if you see something, say something. And I equate it to, I travel so much. In the airports I travel in, there's a post, every airport I'm in, there's a poster that says, if you see something, say something. With terrorism and backpacks with bombs in it, if I see a bomb, if I see a backpack with red wires coming out of it, you think I'm just going to walk by it and go, that's all right. No, hey, there's a poster with a number, text. If you see something, say something. Same thing with your friends. They're a bomb. They're a backpack with red wires coming out of it. You see something, you got to say something. Might be unpopular. They might be mad at you when you do, but they'll thank you years later when you save their life and maybe somebody else's. You just gotta step up. It's called bystander behavior. That's the big buzzword now. Bystander behavior. How do you behave as a bystander? You can't just say, they're all right, I got a test tomorrow, I'm gonna leave, I gotta go to the library. You see your buddy just chugging straight vodka. He's okay, I got a test tomorrow. You see him killing himself. You know he's gonna finish the whole bottle. He's already past blackout drunk. He's not gonna stop till the bottle's empty. That's blood alcohol. That's poison. That's alcohol poisoning, the definition of it. And if you find out when you get back to practice the next day that that guy died, and you saw it coming, and didn't say anything, you'll never let it down. You'll never live it down. You'll wish you said something. So as a bystander, how are you going to behave? You see something, you got to say something.
I'm Yvonne Giovannis, the Associate Director for the Alcohol and Drug Education Center at Texas Christian University, and we just came from a presentation with Adam Ritz for our campus tonight. It was an amazing presentation. The students that came in were very impacted, and we had a great diverse audience. We had sorority women, fraternity men, general students, student athletes, and just like any other alcohol presentation that students come to, there's always kind of a level of, oh, I don't want to be there, I have to hear this information, it's mandatory from our organization. But they came. They were good, they chuckled at his jokes, thought it was kind of interesting. But when it really got down to the important salient points, Adam's presentation made such an impact. You could tell they were left with something very important to them. This was part of our Safe Spring Break presentation, and I feel really confident that these students are coming away with something to think about how to prepare before they go away to spring break so that they come back safe and sound back to our campus. So we can't thank Adam enough for being here.
So if you can tell by now, I'm not here to tell you not to drink. I'm not here to preach. It's up to you. You're all grown adults. I don't care if you're drunk right now. Who's bombed right now after that Kentucky win? It's up to you. You're grown. Even the underage people. I don't care if you're drunk right now. All I'm here to do as a member of the media is to report on some stories I've seen, very topical, relative, recent stories of some good people that have made some bad decisions. And that's the thing, they're good people. I mean, nobody in this room, if you happen to make a mistake this weekend and get arrested, you're not a bad person. You're just in the wrong place, wrong time, with the right amount of alcohol, and you made a bad judgment, a poor choice, and it's going to come back to haunt you. And that's what we're trying to say. We're trying to save you from making that bad decision. And sometimes, like I said, it's 3 in the morning, you've had some beers, it's going to be hard to know what you're doing. That's where you're going to need your friend, one of those other 14 guys in the mugshots, to step up and say, hey, this is a bad idea. We got to get out of here. There are red flags everywhere. This could be a fun college story, or we could all get felonies. So let's get out of here. Don't be afraid to speak up if you see the red flags.
And Adam really captivated the audience for the entire presentation. And I know all of our players, including myself, will be affected from his speech, and I think we'll be better for it. I know we'll be better for it. So I encourage you to take advantage of the opportunity to have Adam make a presentation to your team, to your organization, to your group. I promise you it'll be worth it.
Get to know Adam at adamritz.com. Get to know the radio show at adamritzshow.com.